All right, thank you, folks. Well, we had a great morning. I want to say thank you to everybody for all the speakers we had. Hopefully, we had a good exchange. Everybody enjoyed that. I did. So thank you very much to the speakers. I want to take a little opportunity right now, if I could. These events don't happen by themselves, so obviously, if you took a look around the room, we had some great sponsors that stepped up and really helped us this year, and we want to say thank you to them. I mean, not only for yesterday with the workshop, we had a lot of groups that supported us in that, and also today. So if I could, I would just want to go through the list of our sponsors that helped us put this together, and if I could ask, when I mention them, if you could just stand up and show yourself to it, I'd really appreciate it. So first off on our platinum sponsor is Energy Rudox. There's Vishnu back there. Hopefully you guys got a chance to talk to them. Very impressive group, and I want to say thank you yesterday for the workshop, Vishnu. Very good job. Thank you. Appreciate that. So in the gold sponsors, I'd like to start with AZ Corporation. Is AZ Corporation here? Well, there you are back there, guys. How you doing, Robert? All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Anga is one of our gold sponsors. We have Anga here today. Okay, stand up. Thank you. Capstone, Jim Krause and his gang. I saw a whole bunch of these. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. All right, great job. My company, Dresser-Rand, back there. All right, wonderful. We'll hear from you guys this after. Thank you very much. Oprah Turbines, over here. Thank you, Regine. We have this afternoon. We're going to hear some more about that and some fuel capabilities. And our silver sponsors, some of these are board members too, and we really appreciate their sponsorship. AGA, American Gas Association. Our friend Rick Murphy, great presentation, Rick. Thank you very much. Caterpillar Corporation, in the back. All right, Milton Cat, our friends. Mike Devine, Technology, great team back there. Dwayne Morris, there we are. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. National Grid, of course, right? They're not my enemy. I used to work for them. There you are. Dinesh, how are you? I'm still on your Christmas card list. I know. Bobby D. John Domenico, you too, Dan Starr. We're friends. I know, A lot of cogen battles over the years, all right? Wärtsilä Corporation, great crew. Wayne, stand up, please. There you are there. Thank you, guys. All right? Also a board member. President of Wärtsilä USA is a board member for Wade. Thank you very much for your support. Blue Pillar. We heard from them this morning. Yep, thank you very much. Key Equipment Finance, Doug Beebe. There you are, Doug. Thank you very much. All right, great job. Nexen Corporation, Tim Graham. Where's Tim? Fred, how are you? Thank you very much, guys. Great job. Thank you very much. SGP Energy Fund. Yep. Okay. And we got Thermex. Where's Dinesh? Yep. I know I saw him earlier. Thank you, Thermex. Appreciate it. So, thank you very much to the sponsors. Without them, obviously, we wouldn't be able to have these types of events and great food and all that, so thank you. Okay, so moving on, I want to turn the microphone over to our Executive Director, David Sweet. Dave's going to give some awards and talk a little bit about Wade. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. This is the Wade commercial part of the program. As most of you know, Wade is a global research, advocacy, and promotional organization focused on decentralized electricity, distributed power. It includes CHP, but it's a broader portfolio. We're involved in a number of events and programs around the world. Just in the last couple of weeks, we've been in Africa, in Asia. We're going to be kicking off an Africa chapter in conjunction with PowerGen Africa next year. We're currently doing a project with the International Energy Agency focused on distributed power for India. We've supported the IEA. This is the group out of Paris in the past. We've worked with the State Department on distributed power for China. So involved in a number of different programs. But again, I think we're very excited, though, about the opportunity right here in the U.S. And as we heard, the discussion we heard today, the opportunity right in the Northeast is phenomenal. So pick up the Join Wade form, send us an application, and Mr. Zelonis will review it and see if it's approved. I also wanted to mention Cogeneration and On-Site Power Production Magazine, COSP Magazine. We partner with Penwell on this, and is the lovely and talented Natasha Cole here? There's Natasha in back. She'd love to talk to you about COSP Magazine. We're always looking for good articles, good authors. We're going to be recasting the COSP editorial board for for next year. So if you're interested in that and working with us on that, please get in touch with me. What I'd like to do, or I thought I wanted to do now. Uh-oh, wait a minute. What I'd like to do now is announce the Wade Project of the Year. Drum roll, please. The winner of the Project of the Year, it's the Bridgeport, Connecticut Fuel Cell Energy Project. And it's 14.9 megawatts. It's the largest fuel cell installation in North America, and it's currently providing power to about 15,000 homes in Connecticut. The project is owned by Dominion, and it's got 10 1.4 megawatt fuel cells running in parallel. It was developed by Dominion and Fuel Cell Energy on an EPC basis. And what we'd like to do is present AZ. Robert Rose, AZ was did the engineering for the project. So Robert, please come on up.
How long do I get with the microphone?
No more than 40 minutes.
All right. I want to thank everyone for this. I want to, I guess, go back to the beginning of our conference today. And one of the points that was made that all these projects take a collaboration. And this project started with the state of Connecticut. We have Alex Craigie in the back with the Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection. So the project, it took a collaboration. It got support from the governor, from the DEEP, from the city of Bridgeport, and then naturally Dominion and Fuel Cell Energy. So we look forward to working with them again and seeing you all again next year. Thank you.
Okay, at this time we have a special speaker for our lunchtime edition, and to introduce our speaker, I'm going to ask Mr. Joe Camion from Van Zelm Engineers to come up and do the honors. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, thank you, Steve. And as a member of NECHP's executive committee, I have been asked to put in a quick plug for NECHP. NECHP is a public benefit corporation. I refuse to call it a not-for-profit because I read Atlas Shrugged. But we think globally and we act locally. So we are in the Northeast. We are trying very hard to raise awareness of clean energy and energy efficiency, promoting best practices, encouraging collaboration, educating, and advocating to do the right thing for our energy infrastructure. Reuben Brown wanted to come here this meeting, but he had a family health emergency, so I just wanted to send his regards. I feel for him. He's dealing with a real family problem right now. And Reuben was our champion for CHP and is a pretty forceful guy. But last but not least, David Ahrens is our membership chair, and he's in the back of the room. And outside there is a table with a membership list of who are our members and membership applications. And I encourage anyone who'd like to join to please join. Okay, now to the real star of the show. We are in Massachusetts, so Secretary Kate Garnick really needs no introduction, but having the opportunity, the pleasure to get to know a little bit about her, I must say that she is a public official that brings private practice expertise to government. This is a valuable capability. We actually both worked for Keyspan during a fairly dynamic time, and her knowledge of the industry is substantial. And I'll introduce with that Undersecretary of Energy, Barbara Cates Garnick. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here at the Wade Annual Conference. The meeting in conjunction with NESHB, so thank you very much for having me. And I just want to echo what Joe said, because I too want to send a shout out to Reuben Brown, a colleague of many years standing for me and a strong national advocate for combined heat and power. I would like to say to Reuben, thank you for all you do in the energy field. And though you're not here today, you're very much here in spirit. So thank you, Reuben. So from looking over the conference agenda today, I see that you have had a very rich array of participants and dialogue and conversation. And I think that we're at a point in our energy world that these conversations are particularly very, very important because we're dealing with so many issues that are very closely related. We're dealing with issues of energy production, interconnecting with the grid, renewable and traditional fossil fuel markets. And what I plan to do today is to give you a little insight into Massachusetts. Massachusetts, I think, would fall on the spectrum of a very progressive energy state. A state that is very focused on energy issues, that has always seen economics and energy is very tied together. And really, under the Patrick administration, we do have a track record, we do have a clear direction, and I think it's very important for you as decision makers to get a sense of how we're thinking. Our term will be up in about 13 months, but that doesn't mean that these 13 months are going to be a period of no activity. Contrary, they're going to be an area of a lot of activity for us as the state. And so I thought what would be helpful is just to give you a little bit of an overview of where we're going and then get into a little more direct conversation about issues that are very pertinent to what you're doing. So first of all, the Patrick administration is committed to bringing energy efficiency and renewable energy to every sector of the Commonwealth. We're interested in bottom lines, but we're also interested in the environment. And one of the first things that happened under the Patrick administration was the combining of the environmental and the energy secretariat. And that's a great opportunity to look at things in a very, very holistic way. And that is how we continue to view our energy policy, both from a business but also from an environmental perspective. In the legislature, we had a group of people who were very early on thinking along the same lines as the governor. So there was a tremendous amount of legislation that came out early in the term. What comes out early then needs to be implemented and operationalized. And that is really what we have done over these past 6, almost 7 years. The first act that was very important to us was the Green Communities Act. And that enabled us to set ambitious goals for renewable energy and to take the green revolution to the grassroots level by incentivizing cities and towns to support energy efficiency and clean alternatives. Another act that continues to be important and that has growing importance to us over time is the Global Warming Solution Act, where we address the long-term goals of climate change and set some very aggressive targets for GHG reduction, 25% below 1990 levels in 2020 and 80% by 2050. These are challenges. Getting there is not an easy process, but we're working very hard to be there. The Green Jobs Act that established the Mass Clean Energy Center, where we invest in energy efficiency and renewables in order to foster innovation and create jobs. So these are all very important pieces of legislation that really have laid the framework for what we're doing. And now we're at a point where we can discuss some results. We have surpassed our goal and have set a new goal of solar of 1,600 megawatts installed by 2020. This is a major step for us, but we have a program called the Solar Carve-Out that we are in the process of adjusting. And anytime you make adjustments, the market gets a little bit uncomfortable. But we are really working very hard with stakeholders, and I know certain stakeholders have some concerns about some of the direction, but we are very clear that we will continue to work with them as we rapidly expand the solar industry. We've been working with other state agencies, my secretary at EEA, to pilot 3 anaerobic digestion facilities on state-owned land to lead by example. We have a lead by example program, and in this program we're going to be diverting food waste to on-site digesters and then to get energy or heat in return to lower the operating costs. And we think that these facilities will play a critical role in diverting more than actually, our goal, which is to divert 450,000 tons of food waste and organics from disposal annually by 2020, and in turn create 50 megawatts of renewable energy capacity. So anaerobic digestion continues to be a high focus of our work. It is known that we're number 1 in energy efficiency, and Boston now is the number 1 city in the country in energy efficiency, and that our second 3-year plan calls for an investment of $2.2 billion, and we expect to make or yield benefits of $9 billion. So energy efficiency continues to be the first leg of our stool, and we will continue to drive forward, and this is obviously where CHP plays a major role. The issue of innovation remains large for the state. We rank number 2 in the nation for clean energy technology according to the U.S. Clean Tech Leadership Index. Our 2013 Mass Clean Energy Annual Industry Report found 5,557 clean energy firms. Every firm makes a difference, so 57 at the end, employing 80,000 clean energy workers in Massachusetts. And we saw a growth of 11.8% from 2012. So this notion of growth in clean energy remains very, very important. As I said, our Global Warming Solution Act is very important, and we are about to launch a dashboard to provide easy access for information of our progress toward meeting these very intense goals. But it also will indicate challenges ahead, and we are a state that believes in transparency. So as you study the dashboard and look for various opportunities, you'll see where we've been successful, where our challenges lie, and what we really need to do to make these very stringent targets. But the point is, it's a commitment that is very strong, and we will continue to push forward. I recently joined our Secretary Sullivan, on a fact-finding mission to Canada to explore opportunities to expand large hydro imports into New England, and that is a part of our aim to diversify fuel mix, lower costs, and reduce emissions. So you're going to be hearing a lot about hydro in the coming months. And I think that this is very important because also we're working together with our fellow New England states on a whole series of projects on very technical issues in terms of interconnection with the grid, but also in how you bring large-scale resources down. It's not a simple, there's no simple solution. We're working hard, and we look forward to actually being successful. So now let's talk about some of the issues that I know will have concern to you. So we're taking a multi-pronged approach to distributed generation. I mentioned the solar RECs and the RPS program. Net metering always remains an interesting issue for us, and we are up against some of our caps in net metering, but it's something that I think that we're going to be working with our legislature on. We've taken a comprehensive look through the Department of Energy Resources at our thermal needs, and we're trying to craft a complementary approach to support renewable thermal as well as gas expansion. And by that I mean enhanced distribution of natural gas in the Commonwealth. So again, new opportunities, new industries, but also opportunities on the gas front as well. We hope to focus on future issues related to DG through our smart grid order that the Department of Public Utilities will be issuing in the not-too-distant future. It's part of this whole grid modernization effort where microgrids, islanding, and other related issues will be addressed. We believe that we have a good process in place for the operative side of grid interconnection with strong timelines established and enforcement through the Department of Public Utilities. I think we believe it's working, but we're always open when there are problems to hearing what we can do to improve. We have an ombudsman system set up, and we hope that it's working as well as any other process that you've been engaged in. So under the aegis of the Global Warming Solution Act, we're looking very closely at issues related to adaptation. So DG becomes very important to us from a resiliency perspective, and we are looking at this at a very heightened level throughout the administration. And I think that more will be happening on that front. On the regional level, Massachusetts and NESCO are really engaged with the ISO to begin an analysis that will allow for the inclusion of DG in energy forecasting, much as energy efficiency is today, and we can really point to success on our energy efficiency front with the ISO. They've noted the role that it's played in lowering the peak and in, precluding the need for certain resource development. Part of this analysis will include costs and benefits of DG for the grid, such as avoided transmission, distribution, and generation costs, and improved reliability. We're working with other states on infrastructure issues, both transmission and pipeline infrastructure. If there's a way to develop solutions that work for all of the states in a mutually accepted way, but we understand the challenges related to cost and siting. In Massachusetts, as I said, we realize the importance of bringing in more natural gas for fuel diversity and as a price hedge. So where are we going with all of this? I think that there is a very strong statement that distributed energy resources and CHP continue to be a critical part of our energy future as an integrative resource to all of our energy policy. We see it part of energy efficiency strategy, our greenhouse gas reduction strategy, our demand response strategy, our resiliency strategy, and our renewable strategy. So it covers a whole wide range of topics for us. We believe we have set aggressive goals and aggressive set of incentives in place. That being said, this is a difficult topic, it's a challenge, and we understand the multiple challenges that are in front of you, and they're also in front of us and a whole range of stakeholders. We believe that we have about 70 megawatts of CHP installed through the APS, and we're expecting some new installations to come online shortly. That doesn't mean that we are as near to our goal as we wished. We know that some of the requirements, the upfront analysis for proposed projects is very time-consuming, that there's uncertainty associated with them, but we're working very closely with all of the stakeholders to find better ways of addressing technical issues. We also know that we need to better understand the customers and the market in Massachusetts and how our policies can play a role in making better incentives and promoting appropriate systems for particular customers. Again, the market needs to do it, but we as a state need to understand this. We have a district energy microgrid study underway involving the Department of Public Utilities and the Clean Energy Center, which we hope to release by year's end. We're going to look at microgrids and district energy. We're going to look at some barriers to deployment. We're going to try to identify new emerging business and ownership models in this study and set up some recommendations for accelerating the adoption of district energy. So it's an important study. It's going to lay an important foundation for us of a commitment to a technology, but we also know the changing implications of all of this for a whole range of stakeholders. So in sum, I hope that I've really spoken and given you confidence that we all recognize the advantages and benefits of distributed energy resources and CHP. We see them as critical tools from a future for the customer, for our utilities, for all sorts of opportunities to reduce energy use, and for customers to control their energy destiny, which I think is a growing, very important trend in the Commonwealth, and of course to reduce costs. We know that we need to refine our deployment and learn more about new technologies entering the marketplace, but we think it's very important also for the industry to help us in doing so, and to speak out and to let us know where we're succeeding, where you're finding problems, and also just informing us constantly about new developments. I think this is very important when you work in the public sector. The marketplace really needs to speak to you. So this afternoon, I hope I've given you a little bit of an overview of where we in Massachusetts are going, where we recognize opportunities and challenges, but also a desire to work with all of you in helping maintain our position as we like to think the most progressive energy state in the country. So I thank you very much. If you have some questions and we have time, or maybe to talk to you privately before I leave. So thank you very much.